Artificial intelligence is moving incredibly fast, way faster than our ethical rulebooks can keep up with. So, how do we actually protect human dignity in this wild age of algorithms? Well, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're diving into a fascinating 2026 encyclical from Pope Leo XIV called Magnifica Humanitas. It gives us a truly profound framework for handling this whole technological revolution. To unpack this dense text, we've broken it down into 5 key parts. First up, Babel or Jerusalem. Second, a living social doctrine. Third, the AI challenge. Fourth, the grandeur of human limits. And finally, truth in the digital age. Section 1, Babel or Jerusalem, the two cities of technology. The Pope starts off by asking us to look out at the massive digital construction sites of our era and consider, what exactly are we building here? Are we constructing a new Tower of Babel, or are we building the City of God? It's really the foundational question of our time. We're basically faced with a stark choice. Do we go with the Babel approach? That's the exclusionary top-down dominance, where an absolute idolatry of profit just erases all our diversity. Or do we choose the Jerusalem model, like the rebuilding led by Nehemiah? That approach is community-driven. It recognizes that true progress requires shared responsibility, communion, and a deep commitment to protecting human dignity. All right, moving to Section 2, a living social doctrine, faith meeting history.
What's super interesting here is that this isn't just some static rulebook. There's a continuous, living tradition at play. As we track this historically, it builds from Pope Leo XIII addressing the Industrial Revolution way back in 1891 with Rerum Novarum, all the way through Vatican II, right up to Pope Leo XIV addressing today's AI crisis in 2026. These timeless principles adapt to totally unprecedented historical shifts.
And the framework relies on 5 foundational principles: the common good, the universal destination of goods, subsidiarity, solidarity, and social justice. These provide a consistent, unchanging ethical lens to neutrally assess any era. Let's zero in on 2 of these that are absolutely crucial for the digital landscape. First up is the universal destination of goods. Now, historically, this meant natural resources like land and water shouldn't just be hoarded by a few people. But today, well, it means data and algorithms shouldn't be the exclusive property of massive tech monopolies. They are resources meant to benefit the entire human family. That is a massive shift in how we think about digital ownership. Next is subsidiarity. This is the idea that decisions should be made as close to the local level as possible. In the age of AI, this literally demands transparency. Local communities shouldn't just be passive subjects to algorithmic decisions made miles and miles away in some massive, opaque server farm. Power has got to remain decentralized.
Section 3, the AI challenge, tool versus dominance.
So, having set up that ethical framework, the text confronts the specific unprecedented threats posed by AI. Look, AI can process data at lightning speed, sure, but it can never replace authentic, relational human wisdom. Why? Because human intelligence is rooted in the physical world. We have bodies, we feel pain, we mature through relationships, and we have a moral conscience. AI, on the other hand, is basically just statistical adaptation. It might simulate empathy really well, but it fundamentally lacks any inner growth or moral responsibility. And that brings us to a major warning in the text. The Pope points out that technology is literally never neutral because it takes on the characteristics of those who devise it. An algorithm isn't just simple math, you know? It carries the hidden biases, the financial motives, and the priorities of its creators. Because of that, we have to look closely at the hidden risks beneath the surface. For instance, the encyclical highlights the massive environmental toll. To put it in perspective, training a single AI model can emit as much carbon as 5 cars do over their entire lifetimes. That's huge. Beyond the environment, AI simulates emotions, which can lead to profound human isolation. And it systemically excludes vulnerable people under the guise of being a quote-unquote neutral algorithm, all while concentrating immense global power in private hands with very little accountability. So, what's the solution here? Well, the text introduces a really compelling concept: disarming AI. The goal isn't to just throw the technology away, but to actually disarm it. That means freeing it from this mentality of armed, monopolistic competition so that it serves humanity and works alongside us rather than dominating us. Which leads perfectly into Section 4, the grandeur of human limits, rejecting the illusion.
Here, we're looking at two radically competing visions for our future. On one side, you have transhumanism. This view treats human limits as mere bugs in a system that need fixing, essentially seeing us as projects to be optimized. On the flip side is Christian humanism, which views those exact limits and vulnerabilities as the very spaces where love, compassion, and grace actually happen. So the question is, are we just machines needing an upgrade, or do our deepest connections actually stem from our shared imperfections?
To really hammer this point home, the document references the psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor Viktor Frankl. He noted that, yes, man is the being who invented the gas chambers of Auschwitz, but man is also that being who entered those gas chambers upright. It's a striking, powerful reminder. Humanity is capable of terrible darkness, but also of an unquantifiable, transcendent light, a moral courage that absolutely no machine could ever possess. The big takeaway here is that suffering and finitude aren't design flaws. They are the exact things that make us capable of genuine love. Embracing our limits actually cultivates real compassion for others. It generates generosity. When things go wrong, it helps us recognize the inviolable dignity in every single person, and it inspires art that actively resists dehumanization.
Finally, Section 5, Truth in the Digital Age, Education and Freedom.
The encyclical makes a strong call for what it terms an ecology of communication. Because AI can so effortlessly blur the lines between reality and fiction, think deepfakes and algorithmic distortions, truth has to be fiercely protected as a shared common good. It's not just a commodity used to monetize our attention. In today's digital environment, truth requires an active, collective defense. Building that defense requires a coordinated educational alliance. Step 1. Policymakers need to step up, set firm age limits, and hold these platforms accountable. Step 2. Schools have to move way beyond just teaching kids how to process data. They need to foster critical thinking and a real love for the truth. And Step 3, families must be empowered to protect their kids from business models that are literally designed to harvest their attention. And this action is urgently needed. Unsupervised digital access is taking a massive psychological toll on young minds right now. We're talking about disrupted sleep, emotional burnout, and this constant hyperstimulation that ironically just leads to total apathy. Not to mention algorithms fueling isolation, cyberbullying, and the terrifying exposure to fake profiles used for grooming. It's a reality we simply cannot ignore. Bringing it all back full circle, the encyclical quotes St. Augustine, who reminds us that two loves have built two cities, the earthly city built on a love of self, and the heavenly city built on the love of God. Ultimately, the technologies we build are just reflections of what we love most. The tech will simply amplify whichever love is driving the builder. So I want to leave you with this. As you engage with the digital world today, ask yourself, which city your clicks, your data, and your attention are helping to construct? In this new age of artificial intelligence, are you an architect of Babel or a builder of Jerusalem?